just got to get to Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda in Greeneville, online at gatewaydeal.com.
Welcome to this edition of Your High School Sports, powered by Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda, home of the lifetime warranty. Well, guys, some big news happened this week, and that's going to be our question of the week. And it is, who had the better career? Would it be Kobe Bryant or Tim Duncan? Our resident basketball cohorts are here. He loves the NBA. I'm on the outside here. Let's go with you. What do you think? Who had the better career, Kobe or Tim Duncan?
Well, I mean, when you really think about it, when Kobe retired here recently, talked about it on the show, I mean, I thought Kobe had a great career. I mean, there's so many accolades, so many MVPs. But when you get down to actually looking at the actual facts on paper, Tim Duncan retiring, that means just as big as Kobe. Probably the greatest power forward ever played the game. 40 years old, 5 championships, 15 All-Star appearances, 2 MVPs in 19 seasons, and only 2 losing seasons, by the way. And 17 years straight going to the playoffs. In my opinion, consistency outweighs a lot of things. Championships came too. So for me, I think Kobe Bryant is one of the greatest players as well, definitely up in the top 10. But Tim Duncan, when he's apples to apples, I think Tim Duncan had the better career just because of his consistency, the people that are around him. You would never would have known about Tony Parker or Mono Ginobili if it hadn't been for Tim Duncan. He had a great leader, though, too, if you don't remember Robinson when he came into the league.
Yeah,
that was a great two-man game. Y'all, if you remember, that was so fun to watch. They were passing it back, but to me, Tim Duncan, I think, had the better career just because of the overall consistency and then not having all those players around him. Like Kobe had Shaq. Kobe had, Kobe did do it by himself a couple times too, but there was never a gap in between all those things. Kobe had a little gap after Shaq. Tim's been doing it every year, even this last season, 1 game away from going to the final, or 2 games away over into the finals.
Yes, correct.
So, but that's my thing. I think Tim Duncan definitely has a better career when you compare the two. Nothing against Kobe, but I think Tim Duncan for me.
All right, what was the question again? That was
a
lot of talk on Tim Duncan. What was the question?
Who had the better career, Kobe Bryant or Tim Duncan?
The better career. Well, when you talk career, we can broaden what career actually means because, Kobe Bryant, he's a guy that definitely enjoyed watching because he followed one of the greats, Michael Jordan. He even had the finesse, the skill, somewhat the look and the mannerism of Michael Jordan as a kid. Now, when Kobe started out, was he 17 when he started in the league? I remember he popped his shades up, thought he was cool, when he made his announcement going to the pro. I was like, this kid
can't play basketball.
Can he play? But the kid can play. He was definitely an impact player as soon as he started. Talking about his career, well, he just kind of broke down his career. I mean, he had an amazing career. Could be a little questionable there. Is Kobe the real deal after Shaq left? And you know what? Shaq got his championship right after Kobe left, which makes it look like Kobe needed Shaq. But guess what? Kobe said, I tell you what, you get your 1, I'm going to top it with 3 more.
Yeah.
So he got, or 2 more. You got two more, so you get 1, I get 2. They kind of had a little back and forth. Whatever you do, I can do better type thing. But with that being said, going back to the issue with Tim Duncan, can't take anything away from Tim Duncan on what you said because he did exactly everything you said. He's the type of player, you're not going to say much. He's just going to do it, and he gets the job done. So who's the greatest career? All I can say is, golly, they're about even. But when you're talking about making noise, you got to give it to Kobe Bryant because just like we just talked about, Tim Duncan, he's even going out. He came in quality, he's going out quality, but he always really made noise, but he was a silent killer on what he did. He did all that stuff. You didn't even realize what Tim Duncan did all that. Wow. Right. But Kobe Bryant, just the name, just Kobe. He's iconic, just the name Kobe. When you say Kobe, you know exactly what we're talking about. You say Tim, well, Tim who? Yeah, I'm not knocking Tim's name. That just had to do with his name. Kobe's a little unique, but when you talk about making noise in the career, I think you got Kobe on that. But when you talk about, stacks and figures and everything, they're about even because you just broke it down. But one thing I like what you did break down about Tim Duncan is Kobe dropped a little, and a little of that because of his team built around him, but he got hurt too. Yeah, Tim was had a little more stability. So
yeah, I mean, I think that's a good argument. I think that's probably going to be an argument people go back and forth for years and years. I mean, but Tim Duncan being consistent. I mean, I wouldn't even think comparing him to Peyton Manning. He never heard anything that bad ever happened to Tim.
Nothing
ever bad. Just consistently role model,
on the court, off
everything. You know, that's just one of
he
them
was
things.
solid. I mean, you knew when Tim Duncan on the court, you knew exactly what you were going to get, numbers wise, everything. Personality, leadership, all. You knew what you get.
Probably never another one like
I'm not even going to weigh in because these two have give you every reason why you should make your own choice. And I'm going to let them choose. All right, let's move on. It's been, I tell you what, it's been a fun-filled day, but we're going to move on with what's going on, Chris, around the region.
Well, we got not a ton going on, but we're getting ready for football. We've been talking about here recently, and we've got a lot more shows to come. We're going to bring more football. But somebody we want to pay close attention to is somebody we kind of got the inside scoop on a little bit, which his name is Keyshawn Hurst. He plays for Cocke County High School. He actually played quarterback this past season, but he's about 6'5". We're not so sure how big he is, but in the 200s, 230s range. Pretty big kid, but he played quarterback last year. And now over the spring he's kind of transitioned to wide receiver, and just by that slight move there, we've got Army, Purdue, and Navy all coming after him a little bit to see what he can do. So he's kind of like a silent sleeper in that category. Plus, we've been hearing a little bit about that. People have been calling for Butch to come and look at this guy, an in-state kid, possibly a walk-on, possibly too. But I think something to look for, and we'll kind of follow up with him and see how he does a wide receiver. But at 6'5", you kind of compare that to somebody else just body-wise. That sounds like somebody we might know. Maybe like a T. Higgins, you know? I mean, he is, 6'5", 2 something, but body-wise, you know? So you don't hear that very often. And he can run how fast he can run?
I've heard he's been clocked in the sub-4. In the 40, so
sounds pretty comparable. So we'll see what he can produce on the field, which is what's going to be so exciting about this new season that we've been talking about leading up to this new football season. So
that goes back to something we talked about last week. Those new players that are coming along that we won to watch. So Keyshawn Hurst is one to watch. We'll follow him here right on your high school sports. All right, Cross the Nation. You know what? We're kind of in a dead period. With high school sports, we're out of school, but a lot of activities going on. We just talked the kickoff of football season for the kids coming back this year, and they're doing their 7-on-7s and everything. But I kind of want to just break down some numbers on a different aspect with football, and that's the odds of making it in football. Yes.
One being, this comes from the NCAA. This poll was in 2014, 2015. The high school athletics participation survey kind of breaks down the numbers. It's all about the numbers sometimes. But I want to follow up what I'm saying because I know we're running out of time. But I'm just going to set it up for now. And we may follow this a few weeks from now. But let's set it up as far as the probability of getting to college or the NFL. High school participants, you have 1,083,617 participants. But guess how many go to the NCAA? Only 72,000 of them. So the overall high school to NCAA percentage of going, so you got to really be privileged when you're able to play on any level in college. It's only 6.7%.
Whoa. Only
6%. So check this out. So it actually breaks it down from Division I to Division II to Division III. Division I players, you're only going to get 2.6% of the 1 million. Division II, only 1.8. And then Division III goes up to 2.4, goes back up a little bit. But to go from college to pro, because remember, when you become a college participant, we have 72,760 or 88. But when it gets down to the draft, you have people that are eligible for the draft this time. You have 16,175. But guess what? In the draft, you only pick what? 256. So out of 256, the percentage from going from NCAA to pro is only 1.6%.
Whoa.
But I'm going to leave you hanging right there because I'm going to follow that up with another surprise. That will make you happy, in this story, because when you listen to that and talk the numbers, because sometimes kids, they don't look at the numbers on what they're striving for. And I'm not putting these numbers out to discourage any kid, because I believe in dreams and going for your dreams. But like I said, I'm going to follow up what I'm talking about next time, which won't be next week, but next time we get into some football, I'm going to follow up. So remind me about that.
I'm going to. I'll stay on it.
Because I've become the philosopher in a few weeks. So
yeah, you do. Football, he's a philosopher. So you stay right here on Your High School Sports, powered by Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda, home of the lifetime warranty. We'll be right back.
From the Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda deal desk, I'm Lenny Lawson.
And I'm Abby Lawson with more great reasons you've just got to get to Gateway.
15 Ford Edge, 24.9 or just $299 a month. 16 Ford F-150, 22.9 or just $289 a month. Only at Gateway in Greeneville.
The revolutionary safety of the Michelin Premier family of tires is now available for more cars, trucks, minivans, and SUVs. So whatever you drive, you can take on wet or slippery roads with confidence mile after mile. Double D Tire can help you take changing weather in stride and save. Double D Tire has been family owned and operated since 1981. Owners Tommy and Flint Carter specialize in tires, alignments, brakes, suspension repairing, and custom wheels. Double D Tire would like to thank all their customers and look forward to serving you in the future.
Just look at all those freshly made Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm sure it makes you want one or a dozen right now. So come visit our locally owned and operated Krispy Kreme donuts in Pigeon Forge. Our Krispy Kreme donuts are made fresh daily, our service is fast and friendly, and the taste will put a smile on anyone's face. Krispy Kreme is a fundraising favorite, so call us today to help support your school or community fundraising efforts. Our delivery truck is there when you need us. Krispy Kreme Donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge.
Hi, I'm Molly Box, and I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. When I grow up, I want to be an actress, a singer, and a designer. I want to be an actress because I know a lot of different voices like, hello, I'm from Great Britain, or, hi, I'm from Alabama. But I don't want to bore you with all those, and I just want to remind you that you're watching Your High School Sports.
Get the right services you need from a name you can trust at Crescent Center Drugs. Whether it's hormone replacement therapy or if you need to update your immunizations for flu, pneumonia, or shingles, Crescent Center Drugs has a professional and friendly staff always ready to take care of you. That's why for many years, Crescent Center Drugs has been your good neighbor pharmacy. Right now, getting your medicine is fast and easy when you sign up for the IVR system. It's simple. Once your prescription is filled, your box is scanned, and you instantly receive a phone call or text for pickup. Visit Crescent Center Drugs inside the Crescent Shopping Center.
Volunteer Chevrolet is your friendly hometown dealership, proudly serving the region for over 20 years. At Volunteer Chevrolet, you'll get great offers on select new vehicles, from Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs. So come see the new look at Volunteer Chevrolet and take advantage of their great deals. Volunteer Chevrolet is still easy to find on 400 Winfield Dunn Parkway, Sevierville. Volunteer Chevrolet is a proud sponsor of YourHighSchoolSports.com, Sevier County.
Welcome back to this edition of Your High School Sports. We're in between things, and Chris just had a great. He was talking about something, and off camera there, we're gonna finish this conversation because it was something really important that kids need to know about. Because you say there's only a handful of kids that make it to college. Then they make it to the pros, but there's other things that they could do in the sports world.
Exactly. I was inspired by this piece, and I appreciate y'all want to take a little bit more time and not wait a few weeks. I may forget about even what I'm talking about. But anyway, I kind of was inspired over the weekend, went down to Atlanta, and first want to congratulate my nephew. Their AAU team played 6th grade level. But at Georgia Tech, they actually got to play in a tournament at Georgia Tech, and they played on the 7th grade level and finished 3rd. So I thought that was very impressive. But anyway, with all the kids and being around the kids and the different age groups at that level, and just seeing all the kids and the athletes that you see there, I got to talking to one of the parents. We were talking about, even though there's some great talent in this building, a lot of them are not going to go pro.
Right.
They're just not going to go, and I'm talking about pro as far as playing professional ball on the sport they love. Right. So that kind of sounds discouraging when I just said when you bring the numbers down. But I think the numbers need to be revealed more to the players at a young age, not to scare them, but to let them know the seriousness of if you want to compete, this is the work you got to put in. Like kind of like Pat Summers, you got to outwork. You got to outwork 99% of the other players.
True.
But set that aside, and let's say you don't make it. You understand your odds, and you don't make it. You don't have to frown, cry, and get upset about it, because if you truly love that sport, you can do so many other things on a professional level. And I know a lot of people say, well, but you're not going to make the money. No. There's a lot of money to be made on a professional level involved in a lot of sports. I mean, there's so many different things you can do now. I mean, let's just start off with you didn't make it as a player. Well, guess what? You may be your gift and inspired to be a coach.
That's correct.
You may have more of the mindset and can kind of lead other players. And guess what? These coaching salaries are pretty astronomical at this time. So you can even be one of those to where you didn't see them call the play right. So if they didn't call the play right, what? Be a referee. Referees make good money on the professional level.
Yes, they do.
You may be somebody like us that just likes to run their mouth and just talk about it. Now, you may not make as much money on that level, but you'll have fun doing it, and you'll be around it. But anyway, there's still, even on that level, there's potential to make a lot of money. So you may have that gift, the gift of gab and talking about it. You may have the gift on the finance side, or know how to shift players around, and maybe want to be like an agent, you know, and go into law. A lot of money to be made there. So even on that level, a lot of money to be made there. But it's not all about the money. It's about having fun, first of all, playing the sport, enjoying it, because there's a lot of lifelong lessons you can learn playing the sport. And then it's also about having fun, enjoying what your career is. And it's not about the money. I mean, like I said, that's just a taste of jobs we mentioned. They go on such a broad level to where kids can really enjoy and appreciate the sport they loved as a kid and carried on into professional career. So I just, wanted to get that out. I know you guys didn't want to wait.
It's a great topic, and we were talking, and
I mean, I think what you kind of get from it too is when you play sports your whole life and you're competitive, like Chris was saying, and you understand where you're going up against and you're trying your best. It's not that you might not be good enough. It's maybe you're just not in the 99 percentile, because you're talking about the 1% that goes forward. But what you do get from it is not only in sports, you get it in whatever job. You take all you learn from sports, the team mentality, what you get from it as a coaching president, how coachable you are. And if maybe you be a teacher and you use the sports to be able to teach your team, do whatever it is. Maybe you do go be an accountant, but as an accountant, you know the numbers like we just talked about, and you got to be able to spit those numbers out. I mean, whatever it is, whatever you decide to do, when you take those numbers and you really think about them, sports gives you so many openings, so many avenues to travel. And when you get into your real job, you have to be able to look back at those times and use that as motivation too. And sometimes if you can actually break that down and use that in your real life, and it'll not be basketball, it'll not be football, it'll not be a sport. So sports plays a big role if you listen and you take it all in, and you don't just let it be for fun. You can use it in anything you do, man. Anything we do it on here. We're a team here, you know. And if we're not the best team, we can't help each other. We can't be the best, But those are all things you learn when you come to sports, and you can use it in so many different fields in life. I mean, so many things. I mean, so many people taught me that in sports, it's not about just the sport. I mean, one day you got to become a man. One day after you're a man, you got to be able to support somebody. You can't. And you teach those things and learn them if you have the right people in the right spot, and maybe that's what you inspire to be. But those are things you get from it too. And those numbers are not to scare you off. And that's what you want to be. You need to know that early and be able to go for it. Go for your dream and work as hard as you can. But just know that it takes a small percentage of people. If everybody could be NFL, I'm sure they would be. If everybody could be a lawyer, I'm sure they would be, or whatever you're aspired to be. It's nothing's easy to get to unless you want to put in the work and time to get there.
Another thing too, Chris, that I see some with these kids from, we always like to relate to our day was much different. I mean, it's not that much, but in the way it is. But you see some of these kids, they feel so entitled. Like, they're, in other words, they may be good in one little area in the world or in the country, and then they think that's just going to carry on everywhere. But the competition is different everywhere. But they sometimes feel they're entitled to, well, you're supposed to pick me. Well, why? So, in the big pool, you're not as good as...
This is something we're going to carry on. We got to take a commercial break.
Challenge.
I love this discussion. I love this discussion, and we're going to continue it on because there's a lot to this, and we want you kids out there to understand these numbers that Chris is talking about. You need to know about them because there's one day you're going to have to make a decision if you're going to play ball or if you're going to work in the workforce. So when we come back here on Your High School Sports, we're going to unveil the first Your High School Sports poll for 2016. We'll see what these guys think about it. We'll be right back here on Your High School Sports, powered by Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda, home of the lifetime warranty.
From the Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda deal desk, I'm Lenny Lawson.
And I'm Abby Lawson with more great reasons you've just got to get to Gateway.
16 Ford Focus SC, $5,000 off for $169 a month. Ford Fusion SC, $19,900 or just $239 a month. Only at Gateway in Greeneville.
Just look at all those freshly made Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm sure it makes you want one or a dozen right now. So come visit our locally owned and operated Krispy Kreme donuts in Pigeon Forge. Our Krispy Kreme donuts are made fresh daily, our service is fast and friendly, and the taste will put a smile on anyone's face. Krispy Kreme is a fundraising favorite, so call us today to help support your school or community fundraising efforts. Our delivery truck is there when you need us. Krispy Kreme Donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge.
We are Georgia Excel, and you're watching your high school sports. Dab on them.
The revolutionary safety of the Michelin Premier family of tires is now available for more cars, trucks, minivans, and SUVs. So whatever you drive, you can take on wet or slippery roads with confidence mile after mile. Double D Tire can help you take changing weather in stride and save. Double D Tire has been family owned and operated since 1981. Owners Tommy and Flint Carter specialize in tires, alignments, brakes, suspension repairing, and custom wheels. Double D Tire would like to thank all their customers and look forward to serving you in the future.
Get the right services you need from a name you can trust at Crescent Center Drugs. Whether it's hormone replacement therapy or if you need to update your immunizations for flu, pneumonia, or shingles, Crescent Center Drugs has a professional and friendly staff, always ready to take care of you. That's why for many years, Crescent Center Drugs has been your good neighbor pharmacy. Right now, getting your medicine is fast and easy when you sign up for the IVR system. It's simple. Once your prescription is filled, your box is scanned, and you instantly receive a phone call or text for pickup. Visit Crescent Center Drugs inside the Crescent Shopping Center.
Volunteer Chevrolet is your friendly hometown dealership, proudly serving the region for over 20 years. At Volunteer Chevrolet, you'll get great offers on select new vehicles, from Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs. So come see the new look at Volunteer Chevrolet and take advantage of their great deals. Volunteer Chevrolet is still easy to find on 400 Winfield Dunn Parkway, Sevierville. Volunteer Chevrolet is a proud sponsor of YourHighSchoolSports.com, Sevier County.
Welcome back to this edition of Your High School Sports. Guys, football season just right around the corner. Things got kicked off this morning. Right. Chris as he gets spotted. But the 7-on-7 started this week. Media Days is going on. We're a part of two of them, Tri-Cities and the Knoxville one. So right now, we're going to unveil my poll. This is Your High School Sports, and these guys are going to debate my poll. So here we go. Number 1 is Catholic. Number 2 is Fulton. Number 3 is Maryville. Number 4 is Alcoa. Number 5 is Oak Ridge. Okay, let's stop right there. Let's talk about the first 5.
I think your top 3 are spot on, in my opinion. I think Catholic definitely deserves the number 1 spot. I think Fulton has every right to be number 2. I think Maryville, I think I'm glad you decided that was where they should be, because I think people are going to project them a little higher than they probably gets because of their history. So thank you for doing that. I think the next 2 are debatable. I think Alcoa and Oak Ridge are probably some people's book could be a flip-flop a little bit. I think Oak Ridge has got a lot of talent on their team. I think Alcoa has lots of talent. I think they have a lot to prove this year based on last year's results, how far they went and things they did. So to me, I think it's pretty spot on. Alcoa and Oak Ridge kind of flip-flop a little bit, but that's my opinion.
All right, you agree?
Top 5, they look pretty good. It's going to be real close. The 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, that could shift week to week. Mm-hmm. It could be a little, all that could go either way. I mean, you could actually go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5. I mean, you could play around with that. So I'm going to accept it because nobody's played yet. Okay. So we'll.
All right, thank you.
What do you think about Catholic being number 1 though?
Okay.
Catholic being number 1. Did somebody say overrated?
Number 6, Sevier County. Morristown West is number 7. Elizabethton, number 8. Number 9 would be CAK, and number 10 would be Greeneville. All right.
So that SC is Sevier County, number 6. No.
Okay.
Morristown West, number 7. Do they have a lot coming back, Chris?
Morristown West have lost coming. You got the Blevins at running back. You got the quarterback coming back, looking a lot. You got consistency coming back a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I mean, you lost, what was the running back from last year?
Went to
Wake
Forest.
Delaney. Yeah, he's gone. But
Calvin Smith went to Coastal Carolina.
So I mean, you did lose some, but you got some reloaders. I mean, that bench was pretty strong.
Defense. Here's the key, I guess. Defense. Are they coming back?
Defense, yeah. But you did lose Calvin. That's it, though.
Okay.
But defensive line.
Yeah. You're back. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I was going to say on that part.
They can float Sixers. They could maybe kick Severe out of the way there.
I think so. On that,
Elizabeth in number 8.
No. And I went to Elizabeth, but no, because you have Elizabeth, and I can see your next one, CAK, and there's something to be proven there because CAK, they took it to Elizabeth pretty good last year. So I can't put – I love Elizabeth, and they're going to have a great team, by the way. But right now, before they've kicked off, I can't put them above CAK right now.
Okay, and Greeneville.
Greeneville, I would probably jump them above Elizabethton and possibly even over CAK.
Okay. All right, there he is. Let me run it down one more time. Catholic, Fulton, Maryville, Alcoa, Oak Ridge, Sevier County, Morristown West, Elizabethton, CAK, and Greeneville. As the season approaches, we'll debate this, and by next week, you will have the official poll from your high school sports will be up because we will agree, and then that way the poll will come up and be the official first poll from your high school sports. So I hope you've enjoyed this week's Your High School Sports coming to you today from Gateway Ford right here in Greeneville, home of the lifetime warranty. And we'll see you right here next week on Your High School Sports. For Chris Blevins and Chris Reddick, I'm Roddy Woods. We'll see you next week.
You've just got to get to Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda in Greeneville, online at gatewaydeal.com.
From the Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda deal desk, I'm Lenny Lawson.
And I'm Abby Lawson with more great reasons you've just got to get to Gateway.
16 Mazda 6, just $21,600 or $239 a month. 16 Mazda 3, just $17,900 or $199 a month. Only at Gateway in Greeneville. From the Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda deal desk, I'm Lenny Lawson.
And I'm Abby Lawson with more great reasons you've just got to get to Gateway.
15 Ford Edge, $24,900 or just $299 a month. 16 Ford F-150, $22,900 or just $289 a month. Only at Gateway in Greeneville.